What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. And today we have two good games that we're talking about. We have the first one is going to be obviously Timberwolves versus Nuggets. Second, we're getting to the Knicks. We probably won't get into the Cavs game because it's pretty one way. But man, this Nuggets game was amazing. The Nuggets ended up losing 119 to 114 to split the series. And before we get into this, I want to give a shout out to Ant who finished with 30 and 10, even playing on that bad knee. Uh, Jaden Daniels and Dante DiVincenzo, who's probably one of the best role players you could have coming into the playoffs right now, which they did great. And someone else I want to give a shout out to is someone who gets a lot of hate, but he showed up when they need him in the fourth. It's Rudy Gobert. Now he did play; he was in foul trouble for most of the game, but he ended up playing well in that fourth, being able to stop Jokic. And obviously throughout the game, it's hard to stop Jokic. He is, for the longest, the considered the best player in the world, and at the moment, people still consider him the best player in the world over SGA. It just depends on who you have there. They're pretty much 1 and 2. They swap out every time. And he was able to stop him in that fourth quarter. He was doing the best he could. In the fourth quarter, well, in the game, Jokic finished with 24, 15, and 8. But in the fourth was the worst quarter he could have had. He shot 1 for 7 from the field. 0 for 2 from the three. Only score he had was when he dunked on Rudy Gobert, which was nice, especially for Jokic, really never getting up off the ground. So the fourth quarter was not the best for him. And then on the other side, Jamal Murray played great up until the fourth quarter because he was playing just fine in the first three, even in the first two. He had 23 points, and in the fourth he shot 1 for 5 and only had 2 points. The two-man game wasn't really working, coming down to the wire with Jamal Murray and Jokic, which whenever you see a lot of the times when they're down, as you saw in previous seasons and playoffs and everything, when all else is failing, that two-man game is always falling, and just for this game, it wasn't. You saw it in the fourth; they were both getting, you know, not completely locked up, and then you had Jokic who kept missing threes, who was just taking them. He went 1 for 7 from the 3 point line, if I'm not mistaken, and which is crazy because they won the turnover battle, which they ended up they did not rebound the Wolves. The Wolves ended up rebounding them, but they played great in every other way. They had 30 free throws. Minnesota had 34, but they made 23 of them. 23 for 30, shooting 76%. And that's one thing I want to touch on with Minnesota is they shot 34 free throws. No, 30 free throws. My fault. I read the wrong thing on my notes. They both shot 30 free throws, but Minnesota only made 19 of them. And that's what I thought when I was watching this game. We're in the third and the fourth quarter. Especially, I want to say, in that third quarter, I'm watching the game, and they're 4 for 10 from the free throw line. Julius Randle had missed two, and right before he missed two, the possession before, Rudy Gobert missed two. And they were just continuously missing the free throws in this quarter, and it was getting to where it was like, no way, this is going to be the reason y'all lose the game because of basic free throw shooting, right? And then they were splitting them, and I'm over here thinking as the Nuggets are holding this lead, the Nuggets led this game with at most of 19, right? So when I'm watching, I'm like, it's kind of hard for this comeback to happen if they can foul you and you're not gonna make your free throws. Yet they were able to do it. So which was a great game coming off the back of Anthony Edwards, who also played well. And like I said, this year, you know, I had made a video of just about these Western Conference teams, and my problem with the Nuggets, like everyone's problem was defense. And after the game, you had Jaden McDaniels or Jaden Daniels go. He was talking about, oh, well, you can attack anyone on that team because none of them are good defenders. You can attack Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Tim Hardaway Jr., and then especially Jokic, saying that whoever you want pretty much is why they're going to be able to win this series because none of them can defend. And the craziest part about that is, like, I understand where he's coming from. If everyone plays just as half as decent as they did tonight, that part is the best thing. That is the best thing you can do. In on defense, if you can hold Jokic down, because a lot of the reason throughout the years Jokic's gone away with his bad defense because he has been a juggernaut on offense, always being efficient, being able to get the ball out of his hands, make plays for others. And when it came to the fourth quarter, he took a lot more shots. He did give up an open look, which we're gonna get into about that floater. This one he was trying to create, and it was getting hard for him to create. Like I said, only shooting 1 for 7 in the fourth. So if you're able to contain Jokic like that, coming down to the stretch, you're playing good defense, and then his defense is also lackluster. You have a winning recipe right there. Now, I don't know how long that's gonna keep up, right? How long you can really lock down Jokic? You can't do that for a 7 game series. I don't believe you can. I believe he is a top 3 player still, no matter who you want to put him at 1 or 2. So trying to lock him down for a 7 game series is gonna be hard. But doing what you did today, being able to stop him the way you were or slow him down in that 4 to win the game is what you're gonna need every time. And they let Rudy Gobert go 1-on-1 and even said it himself. They're like, we're going to let you go 1-on-1. He did his best he could, and he did amazing for that. He gets a lot of hate, but I think he did well. So I want to say shout out the Wolves for winning. I already knew this game was going to be good. If you go watch my Western Conference Finals video, I said I had them I had the Nuggets in 7. This game, the Wolves are specifically built to beat the Nuggets. And the Nuggets always struggle with this team. Even if they win or lose, they always struggle with this team, and it's great to see. So you know what? This was a great game. Dante DiVincenzo hitting the clutch 3, that was amazing. In the fourth quarter, was able to shoot, who went 3 for 4 from the field, was able to do what he needed to do. And getting into this other part right now that we're going to get into, with Jokic passing up the floater, that is one of the most efficient shots he's ever taken. If you watch any Nuggets games ever, that is one of the most efficient shots, and it's very rare to see him miss that floater. Okay, if he shot that floater 100 times, he's probably missing it max of 3. That's how confident I am when he shoots that, and he ended up passing it up to Christian Braun. Which, no offense to him, he's a cool player, but he is not built for the moment of where you need him to go to the free throw line, right? He ended up missing the free throws that they needed, right? And I would have much preferred Jokic to take that shot. And I know it's like everyone comes down to, oh, you need to be the best player needs to take this shot, do that. And I don't always disagree. Like when people, get on LeBron for sometimes passing up for a good look, I think that's good. But this is one of the high efficient shots that Jokic takes in his game. And I think that should have been a shot he should have taken in his hand. Even though he was playing kind of bad, that is one of the best shots you can have. And he had Anthony Edwards on him. And like Anthony Edwards is an athlete, he can get up there, but that floater is damn near unblockable unless you really have someone like Wemby on you. So I think that was a great shot, or I think that was a bad read. That would have been a great shot for him to take. But y'all, let me know your thoughts on this game. We're gonna go ahead and get into the next one, which is the Hawks versus the Knicks. Let's get into this game. This game was also a good game. We had 2 for 3 on games tonight. So that's what I like. Now let's get into the game. Man, shout out to CJ McCollum with 32 and 6 dimes. He played a good game, shooting 54% from the field. That's what I like to see. Seeing this game, if y'all saw, there was a lot of fuck CJ chants in Madison Square Garden, and he came out and answered with 32, which was amazing. Which I don't want to get too much onto CJ McCollum because he played great, yes, but for what I was talking about, it's not me hating on him. But in the last video I made about the first round matchups, right? In the first game, I said that for the Hawks to win, it's going to come off the back of how Jalen Johnson and Nickeil Alexander-Walker play. Jalen Johnson finished with 17 points on 50% from the field. If you watch the game, he struggles a lot more because unlike CJ, he really can't create his own shot. Like CJ here, his handle could slow down, but he is a good shot creator for himself, which is why it works. And then you have someone like Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who was supposed to, like I said, if the key to this series, because if he could play how he played all season, this would be they put up a really good fight. He finished shooting 25% from the field, didn't even touch double-digit points. And the problem with me is that they were still able to pull out this win because of shout out to Jonathan Kuminga, who had 19 points, who in the fourth quarter had like 7, was able to come around when they needed him the most. So he stepped up for him, which was a really big part. But the problem is here, then you have someone like Dyson Daniels, who is pretty much unplayable in the fourth. You can't play him because his lack of offensive ability when you're trying to come back. Then you have someone like Walker, who cannot in these past 2 games score the ball. He can't put the ball in the basket. Then Jalen Johnson, who struggles to create his own shot. You see someone like CJ being able to take over. And then now the second guy who's helping him with that is Jonathan Kuminga, who we all knew could score, right? He just wasn't fitting that Warriors system. And this season, the Jonathan Kuminga experience, even from Warriors to Hawks, it's been up and down. He's played, he did great, he'd get benched. Hawks fans didn't like him. They're like, oh, now we know why they want to trade him. Why the Warriors want to trade him. Then he goes here in the playoff game, he drops 19, helping them lead this victory over the Knicks, splitting 1-1 when they get one in Madison Square Garden. And now you have your other three players last year who Dyson Daniels didn't play this bad last year. He's been pretty much unplayable all year on the offensive side. And then, like I said, your other two can't create the shots on their own. There's no reason the Knicks should have lost this game. Realistically, there were 6 total lead changes this game, with the Knicks leading by as much as 14 in the third. Yes, I said 6 lead changes. The Hawks' biggest lead was 4 points with 10.2 seconds left in the fourth. That was their biggest lead. It felt like the Knicks this whole game had control of the game. Even when it got close, it looked great. Because Cat finished with 18 and 8. He got 14 of those points in the third. And when I'm seeing Cat dominate in the third quarter, it's like I was looking at it, and this is why I never call the game early, right? Because I'm still watching how it looks. And when I'm sitting here watching, I see Cat being able to go for 14, looking like they're going to pull the game away, looking like he's going to close it. And then you get to the fourth, CJ is frying Jalen Brunson because he can't guard. The same thing is he was able to do fine. I mean, he shot 30%, 37% in the fourth quarter. Jalen Brunson. I know a lot of people are mad because he was taking every shot. If you go on Twitter, like right after the game, you see all that. So he wasn't taking every shot, and then Cat in the fourth, then he shot 2 shots only, and they're looking at it like, oh, well, Brunson's ball hogging this and that. But the whole thing is they should have never lost this game. This game was the Knicks to lose, and that is exactly what happened. And you have first, Cat and Brunson should be on the court with each other almost at all times, right? Then you have someone like Mikal Bridges, who didn't play well this game. Shot 30% from the field, and on the broadcast it said that the Knicks had timeout. I believe they didn't. And you see Mikal Bridges get it, go down and take the last shot, which a lot of people are very unhappy. I don't think I would have preferred him to take the last shot either. But like I said, if the Knicks continue to play like this, even then Jalen Brunson shot 38% from the field. If the Knicks continue to play like this, I could really see the Hawks continuously keep coming back and potentially winning this series. I did pick the Knicks to win. I think the Knicks are a better team on the paper. You have someone like Josh Hart who does all the hustling for them. He finished with 15 and 13, and if the Knicks don't start making a little bit of changes here, if they're going to keep hunting Brunson, looking for the switch, making sure CJ McCollum always has his matchup, I don't think this is going to go well for the Knicks this series. He can't do much. And on the second side, and on the Hawks side, they're going to need a consistent second option here. Okay, that's what they're going to need. In the first game when they lost 113 and 102. Your best player again was CJ McCollum. Next to him having 23 was, Jalen Johnson, who shot 42% of the field. And then you had Nikhil with 17, but only shot 35% and 50% from the line. And then this game, you have another second best player, which would be Jonathan Kuminga. So unless the Hawks get consistent with that second option, or Jalen Johnson and Walker show up like they've been doing all season, then I think that this will be it. This could potentially be a really good 7-game series, maybe even 6. We're going to have to see how they do when they get back to Atlanta. But other than that, I think these two were great games. And if y'all want to talk a little bit about the Raptors game, I don't. The Raptors struggled all year to beat teams that were really good. They were able to make it. Brandon Ingram he's just not there. He complained about only having, the game before 9 shots and 1 in the second half, and then he comes out this game, right, and he gets 15 shots, but he's not able to put the ball in the basket. He's turning with the ball. You cannot be shot chucking in a game like this and still having 5 turnovers this game with 2 fouls. And right now, I know Scotty Barnes is looking at Scotty Barnes having to be the defender on the team while also trying to be the scorer and playmaker here. This is why they refused to trade Scotty. And unless Brandon Ingram magically steps up, has an efficient 30-point game, this series is over. I didn't really want to cover. I want to cover it because James Harden is my favorite player. He's been playing great. It's nice to see that backcourt of him and Mitchell, and then you have Evan Mobley right there as a third option. But we're not going to cover it that much because this is looking like I wanted to give it 5, maybe push it to 6 because maybe I was one. Brandon Ingram could show up. No, it's not going to happen. I don't see it happening. I will have the Cavs finishing this in 5. I will give Toronto 1 when they go back home, but that's about it. So yeah, this was a really good weekend. 2 good games, or for Monday night. Today we got, or for Tuesday you got the 76ers and Celtics, the Blazers and Spurs, the Rockets and Lakers. I'm pretty sure Kevin Durant's supposed to come back. So we're going to go ahead and see what happens. Thank you for watching this video. Like and subscribe. We're going to have videos coming out all playoffs, and we do have the NFL draft in a couple of days if y'all are interested in that. So y'all go ahead and subscribe. We're going to be dropping some football too soon. Going to be able to cover my teams. Wait till y'all find out who my football team is. I'm going to get a lot of comments down there. But yeah, y'all go ahead and like and subscribe. And thank you for watching.